here's where we stand. Anyway, what I did was after I let all the other paint dry, I went back and wanted to weather this up, beat it up a little bit. So what I did was I took the steel paint and I dry brushed a bit of it on. And what you want to do with that is when you get just a little tiny bit on your brush, barely enough to make it wet, and then rub off, back into the bottle if you want, or onto onto a plate or a piece of cardboard or something. Rub off as much as you can get rubbed off, and then just go over very lightly the areas that you want to weather. And what I was doing was I was trying to get the look that the paint had rubbed off while this was being used. So just dry brush it on, and the places that you really want to get it, let's see if I can get a good close-up here. Yeah, the places you really want to get it are on the edges of pieces like this. And I think I did a really good job on the front here. It's, like I said, it's looking pretty beat up. Looks like it's been used. Looks like it's been scuffed around. Let the brush do the work. Just like I said, just hit it very lightly. Scrub lightly with the brush, and you'll get scratches that look like that. And on this one barrel piece, there was actually a rough spot that the saw left. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let the paint really build up there. It looked like something happened to it. So I think that looks pretty good. So anyway, went around, and you just want to kind of do this at random. Make it look like you've got scratches in your paint. And again, like the paint is worn off of the high spots. Now, the second thing I did was I just took this is a bamboo skewer, but you can use a toothpick as well. And what I did was I was just dip the tip of the skewer in the paint, and then I would find a spot like right here, and I would just jab the skewer in and yank it out like that. So just shove it in. Let's see if I can do it against the white here. So just shove it in and do that, and that will scratch the surface, and again make it look like you've got a ding of some kind. Another place that you really want to do these is around the switches. So you get something like that. And then again, because those are the areas that the gun is going to be handled the most. So I didn't do it around the hand grip because the hand grip's got this leather look to it. But on this wraparound piece back here that I think was for reinforcement, yeah, there you go. You can see where I did that. And again, just brush very lightly with an almost dry brush, and you'll get that kind of effect. So that was the first thing I did. Second thing I did, I really wasn't happy with having cut out the little foam knobs, if you will. So I went to Ace Hardware, and the thing I like about Ace Hardware is in the back of mine, at least, and I would guess it's pretty much the same all around. They have just dozens, if not hundreds, of bins with screws and bolts and nuts and stuff in them. So I went out and I grabbed some of these, and these are just little hex hidden nuts. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in place in here like that, and that's going to give me that look there. So I'm using four of these for these little switches right here, and then I'm using these little hex hid nuts that I found, and I'm going to use those in these larger depths, and that's how they're going to look. Okay, so they'll probably just be held in place by friction. Probably just screw them in. I mean, there's certainly nothing stopping you from. There we go. Nothing stopping you from cementing them in somehow. But you saw how tough that was to get out. So I don't think there's going to be a problem with these falling out. So anyway, next step is to take this sucker outside, put on a coat or two of the clear Plastidip. I gotta let the paint dry for a while, and but after I do that, I think this should look pretty good. Another thing I did real quick is I took my hobby knife and I just scratched up some of those decals a little bit. So again, the gun's gonna look kind of dingy. It's gonna look kind of used. Like I said, I really wasn't digging the white. Maybe go with a different paint scheme. But again, the M77 is supposed to look more or less like this. So that's about it for now. So like I said, I'll edit a couple of these together and show you what's what. Bye. Okay. He's not interested. So, all right. This is it. final video for the M77, and I'm going to go over some of the last little details that I did and talk about those here real quick. So the main thing I did was use bolts here instead of those little cutout nubs of foam, and to get these holes, I just drilled down a little bit with this Dremel bit, and then in the center of the holes I used this Dremel bit just to go a little bit further to give the screw threads something to bury themselves into, something to bite onto. But I didn't have to screw these in. I just pushed them into place with my thumb. Had to work a little bit at it for a couple of them, but overall it came out pretty good. Now, the M77, in general, I'm okay with it. I think it was a pretty good first effort, but I don't think it stands up as well to a close examination as the M8 did. I learned a few things that I would definitely do differently, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. And again, here's the weathering I did on the front end. The weathering I think looks pretty good on the really darker pieces, and that came out very, very well. But when you get to the sides here, again, I dry brushed on the silver, or excuse me, the steel, and again, it worked out pretty good. And then I did that little toothpick thing that you saw, and I think that worked out pretty good. So if I was going to do this again here in the near future, I think what I would do, though, is after I get this black plastic tip on, I would go back and do what Evil Ted recommended, and that would be hit it with some kind of car spray paint or some kind of metallic finish, a silver or steel or something like that, under where this white is right now, and then go back and put the coat of white in on. And then what I could do is I could just take some fine grit sandpaper. This is some 600 grit stuff, and I could just buff the corners, buff the edges, and that would help. That would help get that weathering effect that I'm looking for. The little vent lines didn't come out as straight as I would have liked. So again, like I said, I made a good shot at it, but it didn't come out as well as I hoped it would. Now, the one thing I would recommend you do is make this a little bit larger. And let me line this up on my cutting mat here. And as you can see, the distance to the front end is just shy of 11 inches. Main body of the gun's about 10 inches long. This could easily be an inch longer. Again, maybe even 2 inches if you so desire. Height for the pistol is about 8 inches from the very bottom of the hand grip up to the very top. And again, that could maybe be a half inch or an inch higher. The proportions aren't quite there. It's just a little short, I think. Just needs to be a little bit longer. So there's that. No big deal. That's not really a big deal. So the thing, let's see, the next thing is the decals that I printed off. And here we go. Here's a close-up of them. And you can see the edges of the decals that I printed out. Now, I want that dirty look to them, so I'm not worried about that. But again, you can see where the decals are, and even with the clear plastic dip that I put on it, you can see. Well, it's taken the gloss off them, so they don't have that sheen, but you can still see where I've got them on there. So again, another one of those things that I think would be open to experimenting. It probably wouldn't be that hard to make some kind of stencil out of tape or paper or something like that, and just paint through that stencil, see how that looks. So again, it's one of those live and learn type things. So now, one thing I did do though, I touched up the M8, and here's what it looks like. I went ahead and put some of the plastic dip on the buttstock and on the pistol grip here, where the paint had rubbed off the most, and then that was the black plastic dip, and then I gave the whole thing a coating with the clear plastic dip. And it, again, as you can see, it took the sheen off the decal, but it's still there. So again, something to think about. Do a little experimenting. May have to go back and do it the hard way if I was really, really motivated. Really, really motivated. So, but anyway, overall, pretty pleased with how the pistol came out. I mean, I got the grips carved pretty well. The shape is there. The attitude is there. It looks like a Mass Effect pistol. Looks like something that Shepard would carry with him. So with that, I think that's going to be about it for now. And overall, I'm okay with the results I got here, but I think I can do better. I'm just not going to do it anytime in the near future because Cambot wants her kitchen table back. So with that, that's going to be about it for now. And I guess that's it. Yeah, like I said, I guess that's it. Not much more to say right now. Please, leave some questions, comments, tips, whatever in the comments section down below, and I'll answer them. And again, with that, I guess that's it. So we'll see what my next project is. Just don't expect it anytime in the near future. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will talk to you later. Bye.